list of values for each.
Okay, so we're here for our webinar, our lunch event called Speeding Up Sales Orders and Streamlining the Counter Sales Process. And you know, that's one small piece of the puzzle of what we do. But what we're going to walk through in terms of our agenda is, first of all, an introduction of who we are. We're a first group. I've got an overview about our company and kind of our focus. We're going to spend some time today looking at Microsoft Dynamics GP, primarily through the view of a companion solution for GP called SalesPad. And we'll give you an overview of who SalesPad is. And we're going to focus our demonstrations today primarily on SalesPad counter sales, SalesPad mobile, and kind of the workflow that's available through the SalesPad engine, how it interacts with the warehouse and pick, pack, ship. So let's talk about the resource group, who we are. Our company was founded in 1988. Our founders actually came from Boeing, kind of a similar story to you, but we're engineers at Boeing and decided to break away from the company and found the resource group, founded as a company to consult small and mid-sized firms on implementing what at the time started as accounting software, and has expanded into this category called ERP, which broadened the horizons to managing inventory, manufacturing, distribution. So we started off and still are today a partner of what's called Great Plains Software. In 2001, Great Plains was acquired by Microsoft. So it's now called Microsoft Dynamics GP, and we are a partner. We've been partners since the inception of the company in '88. We're headquartered here in Renton, in the middle of the Kent Valley. We do have some remote folks and customers throughout the Northwest, down in Portland area primarily. And we support nearly 200 customers on GP. Our team consists of 25 employees. 15 of those employees are application specialists like Randy. So either we do consulting for both accounting as well as the full distribution, inventory management. We do system support, installation, ongoing help desk support. We also do development. So we have a team of 5 that will develop on this platform to tailor the software to meet any specific needs. Really, we're also very good specialists at integration, so we can interface with any type of system that we've got a real open architecture for Dynamics. It's built on a Microsoft platform, so really that's an area that we specialize in too. Every customer we talk to these days has got just a myriad of systems that they're dealing with, and so we really are great at architecting a solution that optimizes what's the best place for the best piece of data. We're also a company that is really focused on great employee experiences, and we've made the Seattle Business Magazine's 100 Best Companies to Work For in the small business category the last 2 years. So we have tenured staff. We have folks who are newer, but we also have folks who've been here for more than 15 years. And finally, we are heavily focused on the distribution industry. So what does that kind of look like? We've got just a bit of a view of just some of our clients that are in the distribution space. Wholesale distribution is the core. So there's a wide variety. Every one of these customers is using the Dynamics GP and SalesPad platform to manage inventory. Some are in the food business. Some are manufacturers of fishing supplies, fishing rods, coffee, medical laboratories. So really the commonality is they're managing inventory, they're managing orders, they're managing purchasing, and they're using Dynamics GP with SalesPad for that capability. So let's kind of take a look at what is Dynamics GP and SalesPad. How do the two products complement each other, and what do they focus on? So Microsoft Dynamics GP product's been around since the mid-'80s, and their Windows version came out in 1993, and we're now in version 2016. So Microsoft has expanded the system over the years. What it's really focused on is world-class financial management, core accounting, very strong core accounting functionality. There's also human resources and payroll available in the system. But kind of most importantly, GP is at its core is a platform built on Microsoft technology. So the underlying database is Microsoft SQL Server, very scalable. We can tailor the database to meet some specific type of need. Microsoft is also integrating it with their technology stack, so Office 365, as well as it can be fully in the cloud on Azure or through a third-party hosting provider. So the strength of the Microsoft platform, it's also something that's just, there's a lot of familiarity with this platform throughout the business world, so and the IT world as well. So where does SalesPad come in? So SalesPad is really kind of first and foremost, GP underlying has the SQL database where all of the data resides with inventory, orders, purchasing. SalesPad is essentially, think of it as the front end. It's where the end user is interacting day in and day out, depending on what you're doing. If you're taking orders as a salesperson, if you're at a counter, point of sale type environment, or if you're mobile. So there's a mobile interface through tablet, could be an iPad, could be a phone. SalesPad interfaces with GP real time. So GP is the database of record. SalesPad is the UI. SalesPad adds capability to GP around warehouse management and workflow of warehouse, of what's happening in the warehouse. So managing the queue, we're going to take a look at that today. What does it look like when an order comes in? How do you pick, back, ship it? Where is it in that queue? I would say the other key thing with SalesPad is it's a very customer-centric order management user interface. So it brings all the information you need about your customer on one screen with easy access to information about notes on that customer, activities, kind of almost a CRM type capability where you get a much deeper view of what's going on with this customer, specific pricing per customer, for example. SalesPad does have integrated EDI capabilities, so we certainly can research the EDI provider you work with, but generally speaking, EDI is a standardized set of protocols that we can interface with. And there's also shipping integration through FedEx, UPS, USPS, so you can actually work with the shippers right from the SalesPad interface. Credit card processing. What we're going to focus on today is the two bottom areas, the counter sales and the mobile. SalesPad, look at that. SalesPad really is optimized for order entry around the companies that are dealing with, if you're a wholesale distributor, but you have walk-in business and you're you want to have an integrated approach with your ERP. So I think that's kind of the key thing is that SalesPad is reading the ERP system real time. It'll tell you what you have in stock, it'll create pick, pack, ship documents for a customer who's a walk-in client. But the key piece is that it's a streamlined user interface, more like a point-of-sale terminal. Quick order entries integrated with the cash register and credit card processing. The user interface, what we're going to take a look at today, is graphical. It can be, you can implement a kind of a catalog approach where it's touchscreen based, and you can look at categories and drill down into those categories. And then, of course, mobile. So SalesPad has the ability for mobile employees to enter orders, to view inventory from a device. Could be a smartphone, could be a tablet. They support multiple platforms through an app, mobile Salesforce. So it's also ideal for if you have events at trade shows, if you're selling at field type events, even conferences and things like that. So what we're going to do is we're going to hand it over to the folks at SalesPad who are actually have joined us remotely. But first, we're going to take a pause and actually grab some lunch while we do this transition. We've got so Will back there will invite you guys to grab a lunch box, and yeah, we'll have some food while the folks from SalesPad present. So Tim, is Matt on there too?
Yeah, you got Matt here.
Oh, great, Matt's there. Okay, great. So while we're in transition mode, are you guys seeing my screen?
Yes, I'm getting it. How about you, Matt?
Yeah, yep, I've got it.
Oh, good. Okay, that means it's working. I'm going to go ahead and make Matt the presenter. Is that what I should do?
Yes, that is correct.
All right, here we go. Yeah, why don't you guys go take a pic of lunch boxes. We'll take a quick 5-minute pause. Yeah, you can send me to the galley. We got all kinds of other stuff in the fridge. Yes, give you any capability to relate one customer to another. Okay, could be a thing with that. If you know, it could be. No, I'm fine with whatever's left over. Well, I mean, you can take you've got a security friends that are getting like that. All the children have we should concentrate on getting ready to provide that for life and bioscience. Oh, they're distributor antibodies and immuno. I can't even pronounce it. It was a word about a mile long, but anyway. Okay. Matt, I think we've got you up on the screen. It looks great. And when you're ready, you can go ahead and begin.
Okay, perfect. My name is Matt Grierville. For everyone there, I'm a sales engineer here at SalesPad, so I help with technical demonstrations and some of the scoping that we need prior to an implementation. So today I'm going to focus on a counter sales demo along with the mobile application as well. So SalesPad is really kind of a front-end piece that integrates with Dynamics GP to really assist in sales order entry, sales order management. We also do a number of things to improve visibility of inventory as you're processing orders. And then we also support a lot of workflow functionality. So once you get that order into your system, what are the business functions that need to occur relative to the fulfillment process, and how can we automate that? That's what we address with our workflow tool. And I'll kind of close out the demo session with just a brief discussion on workflow in general and how we utilize that in SalesPad. So the counter sales screen I have up here, this is really ideal for distributors, wholesalers who do have the occasional walk-in customer, and they need a quick and efficient way to process them out, get their orders in and out, and then also have some things happen on the back end, like maybe a cash drawer needs to pop, maybe you need a magnetic card reader integration, so you can swipe cards, things like that. So it really lends itself to that environment. So what we're looking at here, this is the counter sales entry screen. So we try to really strip it down and make it very basic. So essentially it's 2 steps. You're going to scan in your item numbers or enter them through a feature we call Quick Pick, which allows you to use a touch screen, use category images that then drill down to the item level, and I'll show that in just a moment. And then once you have that order essentially built out, you jump right over to the checkout, process the payment, and then submit the order. And the submission of that order will kick it to whatever workflow step you've designated. So if in your counter sales environment you want those to go directly to invoice where they're posted, you can just go straight to invoice and have those posted. If there's a little bit of workflow you want and you want to use an order document instead of the invoice, you can point that to an order. In the demo I'm going to show you today, I have it actually pointed to an order, and in my scenario, I kick the order directly back to the warehouse to pick it and bring it up to the front of the store. So I'll kind of show you that here right now. So another kind of a consideration in a counter sales environment is the actual customer. In most cases we're not really pulling up repeat customers. We just want to process them out quickly. We don't want to capture billing information and shipping and all of that. So we do have a new feature where we can designate a default walk-in customer where the sales are applied against that walk-in customer record. So that's what I have set up here. If for some reason you do have a repeat customer, we do have a customer search you can jump back to, and you can find an existing customer, but you can also have it default to the walk-in setup here. So with the item entry, I mentioned you can scan them in here. You can do an inventory lookup with our ellipsis and bring up our inventory lookup screen, and this will allow you to search out based on different criteria. So if you know, for example, the item starts with 100, you can search that. It will bring back all the records that match 100. And if you know maybe a little bit about the description, maybe it's a button head screw you're looking for, we do have the ability to layer multiple filters on top of it on top of each other to drill down to a specific item. So that's one way. We also have this quick pick feature where if you have different categories, so in this case I've got aeration, algae control, aquatic weed control, things like that, and I can actually drill into these categories to get down to the item level. And then to add stock, I would just simply hit plus or minus to pick the quantity of the product I want to sell, and just tap on the image, and that's going to add it to the sales document. So you could also do that as well. And that also works with touchscreen. So if you have a touchscreen deployed in your counter sales, you would just tap on the image, drill down to the item level, and then tap the quantity that you want to add. So that's kind of another feature that we added to help streamline the counter sales checkout process. So once I have my item added and I'm ready to check out, I can jump right to the checkout tab, and I can do a number of different payment processes. So we do have a card control integration that will allow you to integrate a magnetic card reader. So if you do need to take credit cards, and that's probably pretty common in counter sales environments, we do have some integrations that work with USB, excuse me, magnetic integrated card readers, so we can support that. We also can do cash and check payments, and we do have scripting that will work with the APG 100 cash drawer. So if you need a cash drawer to pop at the conclusion of the sale, we can integrate with that as well. So I'm just going to take a cash payment and apply it. So I've got my cash payment tab opened up here, and I can plug in an amount. So if the total is $149, 97, I can plug in 149, 97. That's the cash payment I'm receiving. And I can save that payment, and that will populate down here. If there was a check that was used as the payment method, we can put the check number in there. And then once I have the payment captured, I can go ahead and submit that, and the submission will move it to whatever queue that I've designated for my counter sales orders to go to. And in this scenario, I'm moving it to my picking queue so the warehouse gets it immediately. They can pull the product from the back of the warehouse and bring it up for the customer to pick up. But you could, like I said, you could have this point to invoices as well. So if you wanted to just go straight to an invoice and be posted because the customer just grabbed the product from the showroom, you could do that as well. So a couple other things with this. So we also have the ability to do end-of-day reports. So
Hey, Matt?
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Do you want us to, there was a question here. Do you want us to wait till the end, or are you able to address any questions?
Yeah, if you wanted to share the question now, I'll try to address it as we go.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Okay, so typically how our customers order a product is they tell us what vehicle they have and what part they need on it. So when we put in their vehicle and we pull up an external catalog that has all the parts listed for that vehicle, we click on the part and then it brings it back into our current point of sale system. You know what I mean? Is that functionality available for this? Or I mean, from what it looks like to me, is you already have this inventory all set up inside of this.
Yeah. So, are you selling like automotive products?
Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I know automotive is very attribute centered. So make, model, year, and then that drills you down to the item selection. So directly from our sales order entry, we also have an attribute search where you can build that attribute information out. So year, make, model. I don't really have it configured to show today, and I apologize for that. But you can, I guess I do have one, Honda. I don't know if that's very helpful, but yeah, you can set up those attribute classes to drill down to make, model, year, and then that would return a list of parts that are available for that make, model, year, and then you can select your item from there.
Right, but you're talking about us basically building our own catalog out of what part goes to what vehicle. I mean, that's a big service that we pay AC Delco for, because they manage all of that. You know, every time a new vehicle comes out, they have a list of parts to go to it. So when someone calls us and says, I got a 2003 Dodge Caravan and I need a starter for it, you know, we just look it up in their catalog, and then it comes, you know, it gives us the part number and puts the code in there.
So that third-party catalog, you don't have that inventory sitting in your system. That's a SKU.
But the catalog itself, we access
from an external source.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
So anyway, I just wanted to mention that while you were on that, you know, kind of that order entry, because we typically don't, the customer doesn't call us and say, we need this part, right? I see how it could work. I mean, obviously we have an inventory of parts in our system, and our counterman would just look up what part number it is and then go back. But I was just wondering if you have that functionality where you can just...
Is that like an API call to the AC Delco catalog, and then it brings it back and you have some cross-reference? You might call it a different number from the OEM?
Yeah, and the system that we have presently has an Epicor catalog integrated in our point of sale so that we can put those two together.
Yeah, so basically we got customers out there with, you know, their own software for their shop, Mitchell or whatever. They can go on to the AC Delco catalog and see how many of each part we have at every location. You know, I mean, they can look and see where when they do an online order, they go to the AC Delco and it's integrated with our point of sale system. I mean, so when they make an order, they know where they need to order it from or whatever, you know.
And it's integrated in such a way that when they place the order from their location, it prints a pick ticket in our you know, in whatever default warehouse they are closest to, what their default warehouse is. It prints a big ticket there based on our inventory and their pricing.
Yeah, so our point of sale is set up to point to the inventory that you have in GP. So this is going to be showing you the stock that you have at your warehouse.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you set up locations in this, like where you would have multiple locations?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you do have multiple sites, I'll just bring up an item here. So as you highlight your item to select to sell, all this information at the bottom here on your inventory lookup will populate. So right now for this particular item, I can see I've got 1,493 at this particular warehouse site. 1,258 are already allocated to orders spoken for, but I do have 235 available. And if I want to go in and see, some specifics on those allocations, I can actually drill into the allocations and see the sales documents that are set to consume stock. And so these are all the different sites, and if you're in a multi-bin environment in GP, we'll actually give you visibility of the multi-bin layout as well. So these are actually the sites and then the specific bin breakdowns. So we'll go down to the bin level as well.
So what we'll do is, this requires kind of a deeper discussion with your specific system integrations, and for today's purpose, we'll kind of keep it introductory here, but yeah, we're more than happy to pull together an understanding.
Well, that the good news is we have a development team here that integrates e-commerce sites and other moving parts, if you will, no pun intended. But Dynamics GP to solve exactly these kinds of problems.
Is it okay to continue?
Yeah, let's go. Continue on. Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, no problem. So just a couple other things I wanted to point out on the counter sales. So we can do end-of-day reports. So if you pick a date today, and I'll just set the end date for today as well. And then you can pick which store you're actually looking for the end-of-day report, and also the drawer. So if you're trying to reconcile any cash, you can do that. So I'm set up as store drawer 1 at Grand Rapids. So I'll just do that, refresh, and we should see a couple transactions. So I've got a couple that came through today, cash payments, and there's my report. And then I can actually print this report as well directly from this module. So we can print the end of day. And if there is a difference between cash and check and credit cards, and you have different payment methods that were used, it will break it down and show it in a broken down way. So. We also have a store set up on the back end of this, so if you have multiple sites, you can set up multiple stores and then multiple drawers for each one of those sites, and then you can define the walk-in customer for each site and then go through and assign users to each one of those stores and drawer locations. Up at the top here we have a lock feature, so if you want to lock the screen down, you can lock it out and you have a password specific to the drawer and store location that you would enter to get access back to it. So we do have this this back end set up for multiple stores as well. Now the order entry it extends into a mobile application that we have, and so I'll just show that here now. So the mobile application is going to allow you to do sales order entry, take customer signatures and authorizations, and then also push those orders through workflow. So I'm just going to log in here to my demo environment and kind of show you what that looks like. So this is the home screen. So I've got a few different navigation points I can go to, and I'll focus primarily on the order entry side today. Going into customers, because that's kind of the place you start to generate a new order, this is going to give you your full customer list from GP. And then from here you can filter down to a specific record using this search feature. And when you get to that specific record, you can drill into the customer card on mobile. And from here you can do a number of things. So we do have a CRM integration. So if you need to take any kind of notes while you're on site with the customer, maybe you had a discussion, you can capture that here. And these notes will flow through to the customer card and SalesPad desktop as well. So anybody who's back at the home base can see what's going on with the mobile reps or at a trade show or whatever, wherever you're capturing this additional information. We also have document history lookup, so any documents that were sold to this particular customer, you can scroll through and see those specific documents. We also have item histories, full invoicing history, and then we have additional features that we can navigate to by tapping on this ellipsis here. So if there's sales graphs that you want to look at, if you want to look at the aging summary, so you know what their last statement total was, all of the different aging buckets, how current they are, you can see that through the aging summary. We also have, like I said, graphs. We have contacts year to date, user-defined fields. So if there's any images or you know, documents or anything that you want to have, you know, associated with this customer, we can have that accessible here on the UDFs. And then we also have an item history here. So if you want to filter and search by the item history for this customer, you can do that. From the customer record, this is where you'd also initiate an order. So I'll just move my mouse so you can see what I'm doing. This menu button, if you hit that, it will open up this slider menu on the side. And from here, we can do a number of things, one of which is create a new order. So if we want to generate a new order, we would just select that option, and it's going to prompt us to confirm the sales order properties, so payment terms, the warehouse that's going to do the fulfillment on it, requested ship date, dock date. If there is a PO number involved, we can populate the PO number field. And then once we save this, it's going to create a document instantly in GP and in the SalesPad environment. You can see here's my order number that was just generated. And I have these orange gear icons up in the upper right-hand corner. This tells me that this sales document's in edit mode. And while it's in edit mode, I'll have the ability to add items to it from below here. So we can do, you know, several different ways to add items in mobile. We can add a single item. We can add multiple items. We can add recents. If there's a default set of items that this customer always purchases, we can set up defaults. We have catalog items, and we also have quick pick. So quick pick was kind of that same feature I showed you before, so we can access these images, go into the specific category, and then select the item number, check off that we want to actually add that to the sales document, and add that way. We also have the ability to do multiple items with images. So if you have, you know, multiple items that you want to set up, you can go in and just hit these plus and minus buttons and then just add items all together, so you're not doing it one by one. You can add multiple at the same time. And you can see I just added 2 items there. So lots of different ways to add items to the document. And once you've actually added all the items, you can save this. It will take it out of edit mode. And then the menu options will now change. So if I go back into menu, my actions now change. So I can do a couple different things. I can forward this through my workflow queue. I can email it to a customer. I can delete it if I don't want it anymore. I can have it signed. I can enter amounts. I can print it. If I want to sign it and select that option, it turns the mobile device into a signature capture. So you can capture the signature there. And now anytime that you print a copy of this particular order, that signature that was digitally captured on the mobile device will appear on the signature line for that printed form. A couple of the important things to point out too that I didn't really cover in the beginning. So this is available for iOS as well as Android devices, and you get 2 licenses or 2 devices that you can set up per license. So if you have an iPhone and an iPad, you could have it deployed on both with the single device license. Just kind of going back to the home screen here, we also have the inventory lookup, which can be very helpful. So if you want to look at, you know, stock that's available, you can drill into a specific item and actually see the list price, current cost, what's on hand, what's allocated. We give you visibility of the warehouses that they're available in and what's on hand and allocated from each one of those warehouses. So you can see I've got, you know, 3 warehouses, 2 that are set up for big box retailers that I sell to, and 1 that's just a general warehouse, so I can see all of that information. I can also go into the purchase history for that item, the sales specific to this item, and then I have a number of other options to go to, so previous prices, UDFs, So if I have like images that I have associated with this item, I can look up those images and all of that information. Kind of getting into workflow. So as you create these orders and push them into their respective workflows, you can actually gain visibility of that right here in the Sales Monitor. So if I go into Sales Monitor, I can see a breakdown of the different stages in my fulfillment process for this order, and I can see how many orders are in each one of those queues and also the dollar value that's associated with that. So I can see I've got, in this particular order I just created, I've got 10 that are in my new document queue, 3 that are in the back order queue, 6 in picking, 5 in packing, 7 in shipping, and 1 that's ready to be invoiced. And I can drill into those specific queues and actually look at the actual sales documents that are in there and look at the line item details all from my mobile device as well. Now we have an additional view of that workflow here on the desktop, and I want to kind of show that. So let me just turn my screen share off here for my phone. So this is the workflow view on the desktop side. So this is going to allow you to essentially define different stages in your fulfillment process. So this is just an example of what it could look like. You might have 35 steps, you might have 5 steps, you might have 1 step. We allow you to define this workflow to suit your business requirements. And then we give you visibility of the documents as they pass through each one of those stages. So here you can see I've got new order, margin, rep review, back order, pick, pack, ship, and invoice. And here are the number of sales orders in each one of those stages. And here's the dollar value that is represented by those documents. So right now I have 310,000 in new orders, over 122 new documents in there. And then over here on the right, this is where we actually have the kind of the drill-in view of those documents. So if I scroll through this, you can see those are my new orders, and then there's my orders that are in margin review. These ones are in back order. These are picking, packing, and shipping, and so on and so forth. So as you take action on the fulfillment process and move those to the next stage, you're going to you have total visibility of that movement within SalesPad. I'll just open up one of these documents here. So if you wanted to move this to the next stage, you would just simply hit the button that you've defined in the upper right-hand corner there to release it to the next stage. We also have a full workflow setup on the back end of this that will allow you to add business logic and rules so that if you want things to auto-forward, if you want a print job to automatically be initiated when a document hits a specific queue, or maybe you want a text message to go to somebody, or maybe you want an order to split based on the back order so you can fulfill what you have but maintain visibility of what you don't have in a back ordered queue. We can define all of those types of business rules and requirements on the back end with this workflow setup. So I do have one example of workflow that I can kind of show you and some of the automation we can do. So I'm going to jump back into our main order entry screen here and kind of show you that briefly. So I'm going to open up a customer card, and I'm going to do a standard order entry. So this was our counter sales, which is stripped down to essentially 2 steps. This is our standard order entry here. So I can jump into an order, and I'll add an item that we have in stock, and I'll back order the second and kind of show you how we can automatically handle that with workflow. So I'll add this second item, and I think I have stock of it, but I'll just manually set it as a back order. So let's say we have an order we took from a customer, 1 component's in stock, 1's out of stock. I save this. I'm going to go ahead and release it to my workflow, and I have a plugin set to split the document based on back order. So again, I can fulfill what I have but maintain visibility of what I don't have, so I can fulfill it at a later date. So when I release this, the plugin will open automatically to split this document. So here you can see order number 10184 is going to split into a .1 version for the quantity I can fulfill and a .2 version for the quantity I can't fulfill. And when I hit OK, it will confirm that on the screen that the .1 is moving to picking and the .2 is moving to back ordered. So that automatically happened on the back end based on rules that I had built out on my workflow. If I refresh this and go into my back order queue, for example, so this is my back order queue, we'll see that 10184.2, that order I just created for the item I didn't have stock on, the split quantity for that one item is now in my backordered queue on a separate document that I can then fulfill once I get stock in. The other .1 version of that order went to my picking queue because I did have stock of it, and I can go ahead and take action and fulfill that. So that's just one example of some of the rules and logic we can build into the back end of your workflow to really automate some of the things that may need to happen on the back end as you're pushing those through the fulfillment process. Any questions on that?
Looks like we're good to go. I do have a question about the end of day.
Yeah.
I hate to take you back. What we do right now is we push our charges because we're primarily most of our invoices are all charged, and so we push those at the end of the day per branch. So we push them out of what we call